we have fun, and it is 2021. Woo! I am a poet, and I didn't even know it. We are so excited to be here with you tonight. We've got an incredible program as we kick off 2021 officially. It's January 4th. We've got a lot of January left, and wow, has Mary Kay heated up our business. I am so jazzed at what I get to share with you guys tonight. It is all about the scoop. Get excited. Well, I want to first congratulate and welcome our new Reds this month, Laurie Schlem from my unit and Leah Kadena from Jen Bessiger's unit. A brand new car winner in our national area. Give it up, everybody. Woo! So excited for Tessa Porker in the Leslie Helen unit who just finished her car. So congratulations, Tessa. Congratulations to her team and her future unit. They are in DIQ. They are strong and they are getting it done. Speaking of DIQs, get this. Mary Kay just launched a brand new promotion. Are you ready? Get your pen and your piece of paper because you're going to want to hear all about this, okay? It's all about red, and it's all about helping your girlfriends to getting into red as well that are on your team. Okay, so here are the deets of that. Well, you know when you're a first-time red, you get a bonus from the company, right? And you earn 4 to 13% commission based on how many team members you have that are active on your team and your personal order. But now you get to become an elite star recruiter, okay? We know that's with 8 people on your team, but you can also get to it earlier. There's a new way. When you have 5 active people on your team and then you develop a red on your personal team, then you are going, when you and your team, including your personal order, your personal team, and that team that is a star recruiter that you've helped, that you've recruited a superstar in your team, you get an extra 5% on that additional team. So if she's got 12 people on her team or 5 people on her team or 20 people on her team, you're going to get an extra 5% in addition to your 4 to 13. When you have 5, you get 9 to 13%. Okay. So guess what else? When you become a DIQ and you go in and you have 2 red, let me see if I get this right. Wait a minute. I'm getting myself confused. Okay. I don't know if you have to go in with the reds or not. My directors might be able to help me there for a second. I know when you come out, it's also new. When you come out with 2 reds in your DIQ brand new unit, you get up to $500. So if you have 4 star recruiters in your future unit, brand new unit, you're going to get $400 extra bonus in addition to everything else. You have 5 or more, you get a $500 bonus, but you have to have at least 2, okay? So this is really awesome and really generous in a time that we're in when companies are cutting back. I mean, how are y'all? Can you get people on the phone? Can y'all get people on the phone at most anywhere? No, I mean, 90% of the people that you call, you cannot get a live person on the phone. It's like, oh, call back? Yeah, when? Maybe 2021. Okay. So I have a couple dates and a couple other things to recognize here, and we're going to recognize our superstars over the last 6 months in our entire national area. Get excited. Can you stand it? I'm so excited. So first, I want to congratulate, but she's not on the screen. I don't see one of my other directors, but when she gets back, I guess I'll recognize that. But did you guys hear that we are kicking off another $1,000 contest? Did you hear? And did you hear? I prayed, I claimed, I said, the Higgs area has got to have the winner of the $2,000. Last quarter, we gave away $2,000. Now we're giving away $1,000 plus. We actually gave away $2,200. So here is the winner of our $1,000 giveaway. Yes. I'm blurry. Do I look, Jen, am I blurry? Well, does Terry look blurry? But I look blurry.
Yeah, you look blurry to both Jen and
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I don't know.
But you're a beautiful blurry.
Am I what? Wipe my camera. Is that better? And Jen's going, I can see my backstage girls. Okay, well, but you can hear me fine. So it is what it is. You guys are just going to look better than me. If you are here tonight, comment in the comments. We want to know that you are here. And I'm sorry, I'm blurry. I'm just going to have to be blurry because I don't know what else to do. Let me see. I was on with Donna a little bit ago. She didn't tell me I was blurry. Am I better now? I don't know. Okay. I'm sorry. Barb says I don't look blurry. Oh, it didn't help. Well, I'm sorry. Okay, we're just going to have to deal because when there's a new level, there's a new devil. And the enemy just wants us to be distracted by my blurriness. So as long as you can hear me clearly, let's give it up for Terry Simon, the winner of her customer won $1,000 and she won $1,000. Can you stand it? Okay. So there's a really cool story behind it. I had to kind of, if you didn't get to see it live the other night, go back and watch it on this Facebook page. But I was, I was gonna, I had my mother-in-law, many of you know, fell off a ladder and was flown to shock trauma. So I was able to use that terrible situation to ask Terry to take my place. I thought, because they're like, you got to get her on because she had, she was one that had the most entries. And I'm like, okay, cool. But then later, a couple hours later, they're like, okay, can you get her customer, Lynn Lennon on? And now you're probably figuring it out. And I'm like, I'm getting tears in my eyes going, oh my gosh, what? Oh my gosh. Did she really win? Oh my gosh, Terry won. I think Terry won $1,000. So that's how it felt and why everybody needs to get on point with this promotion to give away $1,000+ this quarter ending March 31st.
Well, I am so excited and so blessed. I can't even tell you, I wasn't whatsoever praying that I would win that $1,000. Normally I am. I'm all about the cash, right? Aren't we all? But instead, I was like, Lord, I so much want to grow my unit and I want this business to be a blessing to other people. And so I was literally sharing with everybody that I knew. And then I kept praying, Lord, whoever needs that money, I want whoever needs to win that money. Oh my goodness, what an amazing Christmas, New Year's gift that would be. Totally forgetting the fact that not only was that person going to win, but so was their consultant. So, I am so blessed and excited about earning that money. But, I know we couldn't get Lynn on here tonight, but to have called her the other day, and that's the story I want to share with you all. When I called her and told her that she had won that drawing, that $1,000 cash, she was blown away. It took a few minutes, just like it did me, to wrap my head around. It was the same with her. And she's like, what? And things have been very challenging for her with some family members that have had COVID and are in the hospital and that aren't doing very well. And so Lynn was just in tears, just thanking God for this blessing because she's going to use that money to bless other people and to help them out. And so, I just, whether it's the cash, whether it's the business, whether it's just allowing someone to feel like they are, that they're thought of and that you'd love to get their opinion. Everyone that we are within a few screens of are so blessed, moved, connected, and engaged by us being able to share our business and our products with. So Pam, thank you so much. Once again, you and Pam and who was the other national?
Rhonda Frachowski.
Right. Yes. Thank you, ladies, so much for putting this together for us. And isn't it amazing? Just comment below, like big thumbs up, big hearts to our nationals that are willing to do this again, you guys. So thank you so much. And I can't wait to see. And now I'm going to pray and claim it that someone again in our national area wins our second go around.
Yes. So check with your director how you can get registered. Thank you, Terry. And again, so thrilled, so excited. They were like, is Therese Simon in your national area? And I'm like, yeah. And eToy Divine won $50 because she had the most entries in our area. So we're going to do that again. So get them in, but repeat of the same people don't count, guys. Just want to, so there's no cheat in that system. Thanks, Terry. Mwah. Congratulations. All right. All right. Well, let's do some recognition. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. So in our sales court, in our entire national area, to date, as of this second, to date, number 10 from the Pam Higgs unit, Dana Moreland. Number 9 from the eToy Divine unit, Mallory Thompson. And from the Jen Bessiger unit, Heather Wink. You guys know this is how they introduce you when you go on stage and you pick up your diamond rings, right? Okay, just so you know. And next, from the Leslie Helen unit, Tracy Omley. Yay, Tracy, congratulations. And number 6 from the Pam Higgs unit, Linda Campbell. Yay, Linda. From the Dawn Kobe unit, Nikki Martin. Congratulations, Nikki. And also from the Dawn Kobe unit, Brandy Layton. Congratulations, Brandy. Brandy's with child. We're so excited for her. And from the Jen Bessiger unit, Ann McLean. Congratulations, Ann. From the Jen Bessiger unit, Amber Kelly. And that was number, Ann, you were number 3 in Jen's unit in our national area. And number 2, Amber Kelly. And our number 1 consultant in excess of $31,936 from the Leslie Helen unit, Tessa Porker. Congratulations, Leslie, and congratulations, Tessa. Tessa, her gymnastics, she's a gymnastics coach, a passion of hers, and so she had her first practice tonight, so she couldn't be with us, but we are so absolutely proud. I know she'll hashtag replay this. Next court we have to recognize is our Director Court of Sales. Now, if you're brand new, the National Court of Sales has absolutely beautiful prizes, diamond rings, bracelets. I mean, it is phenomenal to be able to wear your trophy on your hand everywhere you go is so exciting. If you've won a ring or 2 or 10, put it in the comments. I've won X amount of rings. It's so exciting. Cheer your sisters on. Number 10, Director Beth Allen. Congratulations. Number 9, my beautiful daughter, Heather Higgs. Number 8, Cadillac Director Dawn Kobe. Number 7 from Florida, Donna Rappel. Number 6 from Columbia, Maryland, Mary Beth Doolin. Number 5 from Bowie, Maryland, June Stewart. And number 4 from Mechanicsville, Maryland, Terry Simon. Number 3 from Bowie, Maryland, eToy Divine. Number 2, Leslie Helland from Michigan. And number 1 in all of our entire area with over $75,029 in sales. Give it up for our none other but our amazing Jen Bessiger. I'm playing a song. That's right. This girl is fire.
I love it. Thank you. And Pam, guess what? You're not blurry anymore. You're not blurry.
Oh, I don't know what happened. That's weird. The devil knew he wasn't going to win, so he said, "See God." I am so proud of you, Jen. You have kicked butt and taken names, girlfriend, and had a blast doing it. I know you took off 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 months, felt like 2 months, probably 2 weeks, half of December to spend with your family. I love the example that you set because that's what this is all about. It's living a life of harmony to create balance and create choices. And you, Jen, have done that. You're touching so many lives. So I know that they want to hear from you tonight. They want to know how they too can do it. So we want to hear from you, our queen.
Yeah, well, thank you, Pam. Thank you. And you are so right. I love to work hard and I love to play hard. So I definitely work hard when I can and I plan time off. And I took 2.5 full weeks off, not even on social media, barely even checking my phone, just to absorb holidays, family time. And the reason I choose to do that every year is when I worked corporate America, I could never do that. So it's one of the things I swore when I left corporate America for Mary Kay that I would always take 2 precious weeks with my family during holidays. And I loved it. But I planned for that. To be honest with y'all, I just set a big goal. I set a big, crazy goal that scared me, but I needed it to be big to get me to do the and then some. So I encourage you to set a big goal for January on how many faces, how many parties. And here's the deal, ladies. Whether you do Facebook Live parties or you do Zoom parties or you do one-on-one facials, it's really whatever your jam is that you love to do, run with that. It's just about sharing this great product with women all over. And because it's virtual, embrace it and we get to do more of it. So I have found, and I forget who I was talking to recently, that I said, it was Tanya today. We were talking, I said, Tanya, I have never had so much fun or had it be so easy in my business to get women to agree to get pampered with me. And I think that's because everybody's stuck at home or not in their regular norm. It's been a tough year. I mean, let's just face the facts. It's been a tough year for everybody. Wouldn't you all agree? It has been a challenging, tough year. And we are a blessing that we can offer a pampering bag. So whether it's you drop it off on their doorstep and you're talking to them over the phone or you're doing FaceTime or a party, it's really whatever works for you. I was able to do all of that through parties. So yes, I find it's very easy to find hostesses, get them excited about what they would love to earn, and then invite their friends. So that's how I've done it, Pam, is just honestly through parties. My jam is Facebook Lives. Doesn't have to be your jam. You might be loving Zoom. I think it's whatever works for you virtually, but I definitely embraced it. It was extremely uncomfortable for me at first. Let's just be clear, y'all. I was not excited about virtual world. I was not excited about doing things on social media. It was very uncomfortable for me. But the minute that I changed my attitude and my outlook about the virtual world and accepted it, embraced it, and changed how I talked about it is when the abundance came. So it was changing my attitude and the way my mind thought to embrace virtual world and say, I can be good at this. I am good at this. Let's just practice. Practice makes perfect. So that's what I got for you tonight.
So have you picked a word for this year, Jen? Have you picked a word for like the new year yet?
I have not. I literally just got back to work today. When I say I turned off, I mean, I didn't even respond to Pam's messages. Unless she was saying Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, that I would. But if it had anything to do with Mary Kay, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, it was just for me. I told my family, I left my phone in my office or upstairs in my bedroom, and I only looked at it once a day. And it was just what I needed to do for me. So that's on my agenda for this week, Pam, is to pick that word, to do my vision board, to embrace all that and plan all that. So the week between Christmas and New Year's, I know a lot of people did that, and that's thumbs up for them. For me, I was watching Hallmark movies and then watched like 3 Netflix series, and I loved every moment of it.
Well, you deserve it. Absolutely. And guys, she was in a group message. I think they got one text from me that was about we had one Zoom that we did together. So she doesn't ignore me too often. So don't think she does. So what do you say to the person, Jen, who says, I really want to get this going? One of the things that has come up to me and the things that I've listened to and the things that I've read for our audience tonight is it's about how we feel, because our emotions create motion. And that's why our why is so important. So I want to ask you guys, how do you feel? And so what did Jen say? We were so far out of our comfort zone, it wasn't even funny. And it was for a while, close your eyes and do a Facebook party, but it took a lot of practice to get where she's at now. So Jen, what would you say to the person that says, you know what, I want to get those 5 parties on my books, 10 parties on the books? What would your advice to her be?
Well, a couple things. Number one, it didn't feel good for me, but nor was the first time I held a skincare class or the first time I, did several parties on my own or whatever. But one thing I'd say is trust the process. The one thing that I know, this business works if you're willing to work it, you're willing to do the numbers. So for me, I just said, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get to where I want to go, because that's my security. And I am a very security minded person when it comes to family and money. And when COVID hit, it scared me. I don't know about y'all, but it scared me. I thought our factory plant could be shut down. I know that's not the case, but at the time I went in this like panic mode of, this is my bread and butter. This is how I pay my mortgage. Like, you know, I kind of panicked. So when I get backed in a corner, when it comes to my family, I will fight. I will get up and I will fight. I will put boxing gloves on and I will get in that ring and I will not stop. So I would say become really clear on your vision of why you're in Mary Kay, not necessarily your goal of, you know, earning a car, becoming a sales director or any of that. That's all great stuff, but that's not going to drive you. That's only going to take you so far. You know, what does becoming a sales director do for your family? How is that going to change your life? What does having a, you know, secure income coming in? Those are kind of things you want to think about, because that's going to drive you when you're scared and you don't feel like working, or you don't feel like doing it, or being uncomfortable to do a virtual. Let's just be real. Some of you have probably not done one yet and you're scared to death. And I know the feeling. So I'd say become crystal clear on what the goal is that you have, but what is that going to do for you and your family, and how is that going to feel achieving that versus the actual goal itself. So when I decided to make this pivot, it wasn't about, okay, I want to earn the quota sales, or I want to do million, or I want to do any of these great big things. It was literally like, I knew that if I did, I would pay my mortgage. And I was like, you know, this is my bread and butter. I don't have any other income. This is it. So I was willing to get in the ring, and that's what I was doing. And then what happened is that it made me realize I took my personal business for granted. You know, I think that this might have happened to a lot of you when we were able to do the real world of holding skincare classes and going to the studio and doing all these fun things. I don't know about you, but when that was taken from me, I sat and I realized, wow, I am taking the blessing of this business for granted. That's everything in life, just seeing your friends and hugging your friends and family, right? But it really made me appreciate my personal business that much more. I've never not done my director work, but come to being personal work, Pam can tell you, there's been many, many of years, Pam's like, Jen, you just see the faces. And I was like, you know, Charlie Brown was talking to me, okay, like womp womp, right? Because I wasn't ready to receive it. So it was an eye-opener to me that I took my personal business for granted. So I just trusted the process and was willing to do the numbers. So you guys hear these great quota sales, but what you don't hear, or the amount of faces I've seen behind the scenes, on average, I was doing about 150 faces a month, 150. So you're like, oh my God, Jen's amazing. No, I just did the grunt work. I was holding 5 to 8, sometimes 10 parties a week, but by my choice. Nobody was making me do it, but I was excited because once you get the momentum rolling, man, it takes on a life of its own and you can't stop it. So I would tell you to become passionate about the vision of what Mary Kay can do for you. And then from there, set yourself a crazy goal for January. And I say crazy because you got to get out of your comfort zone, a teeny weeny, just say, okay, I'm going to pay for 10 faces. And you did that last month. That's not so crazy. So that happened to me in October. I set a goal for 30 parties. I missed it. But let me tell you, that created such momentum. So set something crazy you'd be super excited about, but don't set a goal of what you said you're going to do if you're not willing to back it with activity. So if you're going to say, I'm going to, hold 10 parties, are you willing to do the work it takes to get the 10 parties, right? Because otherwise you're just setting yourself up for failure. So whatever I put out and I speak out, I'm willing to back with the activity, not the average activity. It takes me a lot more work to get the results that someone else gets. Okay, you guys just don't realize that. I am not the strongest in personal sales in our area or recruiting or any of that. I promise you I'm not. I'm just willing to do the and then some and not stop working because I trust the process. Does that help him? I know that's not a booking script.
No, that's perfect. It's so much about what we think. And Camry mentioned, I love what she said when she changed her mind. We change our mind. And it's also, but it's got to be in here. Because when I was scared, when Jen was scared, when she was a consultant, she thought about her kids and that full-time job and just this new life, this vision. And that's why your vision board is so important. And for me, it was when I had my babies, I wanted to be home with them. I wanted to have an executive income while doing that. So we've got to find your why and peeling that back. And maybe if you haven't done your vision board, do it. I sat and watched a Hallmark movie and I cut out pictures of 2 magazines. I was amazed at the words and the things that came from those magazines that were just local magazines for both Heather and I. Cut some stuff out and then putting that on paper. Well, this situation with my mother-in-law happened and I had to leave. So it's sitting in the loft of the beach, just all over the floor to put together. So I can't wait to get back. to do that because it just takes you to a whole new level. So tonight we're going to have a guest speaker. You are going to love her. She is incredible. I'm going to tell you about her in a minute, but Jen, I appreciate you so much. Jen hit 27 faces in October. And what were your sales, Jen?
I did 28 parties.
28 parties, I'm so sorry.
24 were my personal parties, and then 4 turned into new consultant debuts. So my sales were $25,000 in personal sales, and and it comes out to an average of $1,000 party. But there were parties that were $0, y'all. And I want to say one more thing, Pam, and I promise I won't take up more time. But this just struck me as we were talking.
You're our queen, honey. You're fine.
Thank you. Sometimes we struggle with not knowing why we're in Mary Kay. You hear this and you hear Pam and I talk and you're like, okay, that's great, Pam and Jen. Your babies you were going to have, and Jen, you wanted to be with your babies. Well, you might be struggling with, I don't even know why I'm in Mary Kay besides it's fun and I love my girlfriends. And that's when I say tie a knot and trust the process and be willing to do the work anyways. Because when you do the work, you have to fall in love with the process. And it's just like starting a gym or a diet. It's never fun at first to get it going. But once about 2 weeks into working out, you feel different. Your energy is different. You're excited. You actually start to look forward to working out. Or maybe you're changing your whole diet. You know how when you go on a diet, what's the first thing you do? You clean out your fridge, clean out your cabinets, throw away all the bad food, right? And at first it's not fun, but then you start to feel good about yourself. So that's what I would encourage you. If you're struggling with, why am I doing this? What's my purpose in doing this? Trust the process that God has a plan for you because He does. And it's clearly Mary Kay, or you wouldn't be on this. You don't have to be on tonight. You don't have to watch a replay, but you are for a reason, right?
Right.
So trust in that process that God has this for you. And, God just doesn't bless your business. He blesses your busyness. You have to give Him something to bless. And that's what I would suggest if you're struggling with, that vision and that why is just do the work. Just do it anyways and watch what comes from it because you will fall in love with the process and you will figure that out along the way. Because I've struggled with that many times in my career, Pam.
Well, we all stumble, but we get back up, and that's the important part. And so I want to also congratulate, stay right here on camera, Jen, because we're going to recognize our top 10 in sharing, and this shows you that numbers do not lie, okay? And that's where, guys, I send probably 1 or 2 at the most emails out to our entire national area, and included in that is our link for our national area with all the resources. And one of the resources is a bubble sheet, and it's just tracking your progress. If you contact enough people, you're gonna get bookings. And when you do the bookings and you do the faces as Jen's done, you get the team members. So I just want to really encourage you on that. Our number 10 year to date is Director Beth Allen. Congratulations, Beth. Number 9, Director Lisa Goodwin. Number 8, Terry Simon. Number 7, Donna Rappel. Number 6, Mary Beth Doolin. And our top 5, Director Dawn Kobe. DIQ from the Leslie Helen unit, Tessa Porker. And 4, from the Dawn Kobe unit, Nikki Martin. We got to get that girl in some DIQ. And number 2, brand new sales director, Etoy Devine. And our number 1 recruiter in the entire Higgs national area, you're looking at her, and it's not me, Jen Bethiger. Woo! Congratulations again. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's queen again, and queen of unit sales as well. But 13 new team members in this process. 13 new team members in the process. And boy, do we get to build relationships with them. We get to change their lives. And on that, anything additional, Jen, before we pop you off? And
one of the things I would share, just speaking from is when I was a new consultant that worked for me, and why I, team build so passionately, is I didn't prejudge people. So, I know it's not the same virtually. Let's just be honest. It's not the same. It's different. But don't be afraid and prejudge to share this opportunity. Use the process, again, trust the process. To me, not sharing the opportunity is like not putting cleanser on someone's face. Make it part of what you do and embrace the process. Will you be a little nervous asking the question? Sure you will. But what does it hurt when you're closing and you're closing the sale from a party or a facial, that you just say something like this, Pam, I know Mary Kay's probably something you've never, ever thought about doing, but I think you'd be great. I won't twist your arm to do Mary Kay, but I would just about twist your arm to hear the facts. I would love to spend an extra 10 minutes with you to go over it or book a coffee time. You know, you never know unless you ask. And I'll tell you what you're doing is that when you're not asking, you're automatically saying no for her. So when you think of it like this, so if I didn't share with Pam because she intimidated me, she didn't seem like she needed it, she's sharp, whatever, I just didn't do it, I'm basically making the decision for Pam. I'm saying, Pam, you are not worthy enough of God blessing you with this opportunity. I'm making that choice for you. And that kind of is kind of selfish, and that hit home to me. So I remind myself of that often, that, you know, it's not about me, it's our job to share, and we got to do it because God put her in front of you for a reason, and for you to share. And if you don't, someone else may never will, or someone will, and she won't be on your team, and then you'll really be annoyed, right? Which it could happen, you know what I mean? Like, especially in the virtual world. So that would be my tip. Just make it part of your normal process and ask. The worst they can say is, no.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. I think it's so important. And, you know, so many people, and Ari Hathaway always stands out, because I always kind of, growing up in Mary Kay, I was like, oh, well, I'll wait, I'll layer it, which is still great. But I also am reminded that Ari Hathaway said, if Aisha had not recruited me there, I wouldn't have recruited. And she's a national sales director today and was a top director like Jen. So thank you, Jen. So very proud of you. Thank you for sharing your heart and leading in the way that you lead, and setting the example for our national area. We love and appreciate you so very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Love you. Bye, honey. All right. Thank you, Jen. That was so good. So with that in mind, I just want you guys to have some tools. And my friend Donna, oh my gosh, you just got to hang on to your seats. Yes, we're going to go to 9 o'clock. We added an extra 30 minutes. We normally do our kickoff or our Dare to Dream, and it's usually like 2.5 hours. We condensed it for you guys, but it's going to be so good. And it's going to layer right in there with what you're already learning, things we've already talked about. But take your weekly plan sheet and make sure that you set time aside. Do your 6 most important things tonight when you get off this call, because it's so important, so you know what you need to do tomorrow, okay? You can't change what you won't track. You can't change what you won't track. So time management. 2 quick announcements and promotions for the month. Continue to track your pride sheets, turn them into, you should have already done that for the month of December, to turn them in for our Reco and prizes. We're so excited about that. On the 16th, we are going to have our Breakfast of Champions in the entire national area for everyone that does your pre-Spark or more. We're going to recognize those that already have their Spark totally done. But that's going to be on Saturday, the 16th at 10 a.m. And that is going to be with, oopsie, let me see. I just did this. I was making pic collages before we got on. I'm so sorry. I just drew a blank. And that is, oh my gosh, that's going to be top sales director, Stephanie Leonard. She is Pam Fortenberry Slate's #1 director. She is amazing and creative. And then our Engage to Elevate Leaders Luncheon at noon on the 25th. We are going to have guest national sales director, Jill Davis. So mark those on your calendar. Last thing is the 26th. Anybody that wants to join us, I'll put the link on our area Facebook page. We're going to have a 7 p.m. mask and marketing. So without any further ado, let me share this incredible guest with you. She is my girlfriend. We have so much fun together. She always is just all about others focused, making sure everybody's taken care of. A lot the same that I do. I want to make sure people on the trips are where they need to be. She saved my life in London. I had just like terrible hay fever, and she saved my life with a Claritin. Oh my gosh, you know, and I don't learn to travel with drugs, but she does, because she's proper planning. But let me tell you a little bit about my friend Donna Mikesell. She started Mary Kay in 1990, only to supplement her salary as a 4th grade teacher and a pageant business owner. While working her Mary Kay business part-time, Donna earned her first car and then became a sales director in 1993. She earned a total of 13 pink Cadillacs and is presently driving the pink Escalade. Donna has earned honors such as Rookie of the Year, Area Queen of Recruiting, Most Improved, New Director, and the Triple Star Award for being in all 3 Mary Kay courts in 1 year. Her unit was recognized for being the #1 unit and most improved unit in North Carolina many times. Donna has led her unit to circles of achievements from the $300,000 circle to $550,000, and then on to the $650,000 circle of excellence twice, the $700,000 circle of excellence, and then Donna led her unit to the $1 million circle of excellence, not once, but twice. She was kicking butt, ladies and gentlemen. She has been both the runner-up and the queen of unit sales in the Ruby Seminar, plus led her unit to the top 10 in the nation. In 2006, Donna was recognized as a Ruby Seminar Miss Go-Give Achiever, to no surprise. Donna has earned various trips to places such as Vienna, Rome, Maui, Crete, Stockholm, Sweden, Copenhagen, Denmark, Sydney, Australia, Milan, the French Riviera, and Argentina, and many, many, many more places. And we're going to go on many, many, many more trips. She has earned over 45 carats of diamonds, and her highest check in 1 month has been in excess of $32,000. She has earned over $2 million in her Mary Kay commissions. She's married to Beret, and a retired colonel in the United States Air Force, and they have 3 children. Beret number 3, Amanda, and Madison. Donna presently lives in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and is extremely passionate about changing and making a difference in other people's lives. Please welcome my friend, National Sales Director, Donna Mikeson.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Thank you for being here, Donna. We're so excited about what you have to share with us. You have the complete floor. I love you with all my heart. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Because believe it or not everybody says yes. People say no. No, I'm not doing any more speaking engagements. I'm just too busy. Not this girl, because she is Miss Go-Give, and I just love her so much. So I have my notebook. I'm ready to take notes because school is never out for the pro. Take it away, Donna Mikeson.
Thank you, Pam. Let's give your National a big round of applause, you guys. She is so awesome, and I love our friendship and just being able to do life together. So I am so excited, you guys, to share with you tonight. And I told Pam that I wanted to share a little bit, and I know you know all about this, but what I want to teach on it can make all the difference in the world. So it's a little twist that maybe you haven't had before. You know, I mean, here's the thing. You've had goal setting how many years? Have you really met the goals? And so something has to change. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting new results. We know that. You've heard that at every goal setting session, right, that you've ever attended in your life. And I know that Pam Shaw, she did such a phenomenal job for those of you that saw her on Saturday. And so, but this is something a little different. And I did a 2-hour workshop on the 1st with my national area. And so some of the things that I share with them, I want to share with you tonight because I'm very passionate about it. Now, one thing I do want you to know is that I did show a clip, and most of you probably have seen this clip before. So I'm going to describe it. It's on Facebook. Don't go there now. Eyes on me. But the clip is, there's an elderly gentleman, and he starts, he goes outside and he picks up this kettlebell, and he can barely lift the kettlebell, right? And, you know, if you don't lift weights or go to the gym, you know, just imagine it's a weight with a little handle on it. So he can barely lift it up, and then family members and neighbors start seeing him, and they become interested. They see him lifting this kettlebell, and you know, what is he doing? They almost have fear watching him because is he too old to lift that? And then the commercial goes forward, and he arrives at the Christmas celebration. He brings in the box for his granddaughter. She walks down the stairs, and he opens the box, and it's a star for the top of the tree. And he does this. He lifts her up, and he pushes her up to the top of the tree so she can put the star on the tree. Leverage is everything. Your why, your passion for what you do makes all the difference in the world. And at Training 101, you consultant education, you heard about your why and all that. And sometimes your why changes. Sometimes we don't know why. right? But that passion that goes with it. So there were a couple times in my career that my why for what I was doing changed. And I want you to think about your why tonight. I do want you to get paper and notebook. I am going to have some notes so that you can see some of the things I'm saying, because if I'm going fast, and you can catch those things a little bit faster. I'm a former school teacher, so I teach like I'm teaching school. Which kind of makes it usually easy for most people, but then again, sometimes I'll hammer in my my ideas. Okay, so let's just talk about this for a moment. When the quarantine happened, we kind of all got quiet. We're like, we got afraid or whatever, and now it's 9 months later or so, yeah. And when it first started, though, I remember feeling like, please don't be mad at me or think I'm crazy, but I was a little bit grateful, not for the quarantine, not for the COVID, don't get me wrong, but for a moment to get off the hamster wheel and go. And I think Jen just because I was listening, and I ran downstairs to grab these earrings that Pam asked me to make sure I showed you guys. But I think it was Jen that said, about busyness, because that is the devil's tool. That sometimes if he doesn't get us with defeat, other sins, pride, he'll get you with busyness. And so I was thankful for the opportunity to take a breath and trim the fat from my life, because so many times we end up doing so many things, and they're good things, but good is the enemy of great. And it's so true. We know all this stuff I'm going to tell you tonight. You'll know most of it. Some of it you'll go, oh, that's new. But what I want it to do is hit your heart, and I want you to be able to really do something with it. I do want to share the earrings. Aren't they just adorable? Yay. I'm wearing my glitzy one with my NSD suit tonight, but I've been wearing these. I just think they're so cool. Aren't they great? I love these. So make sure, you guys, that you always get excited about everything that the company offers you. They don't have to give you that jewelry every single month. And there was a time when they did not. And the directors each came up with, prizes for 600s. I mean, directors on here, think about all the money that you save. And I mean, it's just so awesome. And the company is so gracious. I can tell you for sure that I've been in Mary Kay for about 30 years. And I kind of grew up in this company, and I am so thankful that I joined when I did, because I'm not sure that anyone else could have recruited me at that point in my life. And I kind of just joined for a friend of mine. Long story there, but I'm so thankful that I did, because I've had so many times in my life that, I could have just given up in Mary Kay. And I've seen so many of my people, people that I know in Mary Kay that give up along the way. Some people have life-changing situations or whatever, but sometimes people, well, I'll give you an example. I had a friend, and she moved away, and she was a top director. She moved away from where she lived, and all of a sudden Mary Kay became difficult. And because it became difficult, when you're a high D, you look to win, don't you? And I was devastated, that she didn't stay in the journey. And when it's a friend of yours and someone you're really close to, you're extremely dedicated. And when you're extremely dedicated to the company, it's hard to see when someone else isn't. And I don't know why I shared that tonight. Pam certainly didn't ask me to share that story or anything, but I just want you to know that you're in the right place at the right time. And Pat Fortenberry, the national sales director that taught me basically everything I know, she taught me that. She would always say, when she was doing marketing or anything, she would say, I want you to know you're at the right place at the right time. And I want you to know tonight that you are at the right place at the right time. You are in this business, you guys, that during the quarantine, we flourished. Okay. We weren't just trying to survive this company, and you were thriving, and you came out on the other side. So I congratulate you for that. I totally congratulate you for that. And for those of you that are, that have been having a hard time virtually, you'll get it. And I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, you need to get it. All right. Because that's a big way that we're selling. And I say that lightly, but you guys that know me, I'm raw and real, and I'll say what I really believe in my heart. And I'm not going to say anything that I don't think is true. And I do think it's true that it empowers you to work in the virtual world right now, because that's where it's happening. That's where it's happening. And so you are coachable and you are teachable and you can learn anything you need to know. And then for those of you that think you're so great in virtual, well, guess what? It's changing every second. So you're not that great. None of us are. There's always something new to learn, right? Always something new to learn along the way. Well, I saw that little commercial on Facebook and it made me think about the leverage that we have and why we do what we do. And when I became a national sales director, I was hanging out as $1 million director. It's a fun place to be, right? And I knew that I was going to be a national one day, but why hurry? Why? You know, I'm a enjoy the journey. Yay, yay, yay. And then Pat Fortenberry was about to retire and it happened fast. And I had a newborn and life was crazy busy. It was just crazy busy. And I thought, oh my goodness, my national is going to be retiring. And if I am not anything, you guys, let me just tell you, if one thing I am loyal. And so she would have understood if I had just went on and did it later, but I would not have. And she wanted me to go ahead and do it, but she didn't want to pressure me, you know. And so when my daughter was really young, she said to me, I understand if you decide to just do it later. And I said, no, I'm going to do it now. And because I said that, I am a woman of my word. And you guys, I had 3 directors and I had to build a national area. This was in October and she was retiring in January. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. Now, October, so not that next, so it was October, November, December, January, February, through that. So I had like a year and 2 months. That's what I had, 14 months. So that would be really good to go from October to December. Right? But it was still really good because 14 months later, I built my national area. And it was a decision, and anything that we do in life is a decision. And I'm going to tell you what my little kettlebell was, my little leverage, my why was because I wanted to count for somebody I loved, for somebody I cared about. I wanted, and she was writing a book, and in the back of the book, there was this last page, and it listed all of her national offspring. And I wanted to be on her page, and I'm the last name on that page. And that mattered to me because she had been there for me so much in my career, and I wanted to be there for her. I wanted to be there. So that was my passion. That was my why. When I became a Red Jacket, my passion was this. It was very passionate. The person that recruited me, her husband was terminally ill, and she was in DIQ. I could have given a flying flip about getting in my Red Jacket, but I knew she needed me. So I took an afternoon basically and got into my Red Jacket. And that, sometimes we do things for other people, but then the blessing is we're doing it for ourselves. It's just in disguise. We don't know it yet, but we're doing it for ourselves. So that was my leverage then. My why. Why did I become a Mary Kay sales director? Because I was sick and tired of where I was in life. And I wanted to be in that director suit. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to lead. I wanted to stand up, grab the microphone and lead the meetings. That excited me. I mean, it really did. I mean, so yes, ultimately I got into Mary Kay to make money. And then I moved up to enrich women's lives and blah, blah, blah. All that. Yeah. But the why has the passion, the leverage has been a little bit different. If you've ever had a formal event, and you needed to lose 5 pounds for that event, or let's say the quarantine 15, and you had to take off weight fast, right? If you've ever been in that situation, you can take it off fast because the leverage is high. Your why is big. Your reason for it happening is big. And guess what happens? You get more disciplined, you get more passionate, and that is so important. So I want to show you a picture. This hangs, I hope you can see it. It's got a little bit of a glare there. Okay, there you go. You can see it. And many of you have seen this picture before. My directors gave me this many years ago. And I believe it was before I was even a national. And they gave that to me because I had told the story about that picture. And I don't know if you know the story of that. You know, when you look at it, of course, you know, Jesus being the shepherd, you know, but why does he have this? Why is he carrying, you know, this animal on his back? And what is that animal? Well, see, sheep, they tend to stray. That's what they do. They follow whoever's leading. Like, let me tell you a quick story in the middle of this story. Years ago, when I first married, I had a dog named Poco. I love animals and, you know, fur people. Well, at that time, our first Christmas together, my husband got me 2 Dalmatians, not 1, but 2. And Lady was one, you know, it wasn't Lady and Pongo, it was Lady and Poco. But anyway, Poco was just, they were great dogs. However, one thing about Dalmatians is they like to dig. I mean, they really like to dig in your yard. A little annoying, right? And we had a fenced in yard, but no matter how good the fence was, guess what they did? They would dig under the fence and get out of the yard. And I thought, you unloyal dog. What? He would get out. And I remember one time he got out and the hurricane was coming and I was crying and this new neighbor had moved in. I'm like, Poco, where are you? And she, I'm out walking in the rain. She's like, let me help you. Well, we found him eventually. He was not concerned about the hurricane. He was not concerned that, you know, he was making me a nervous wreck. And then I remember one day he got out, it was in the heat of the summer, and I'm out walking the neighborhood, Poco, and I couldn't find him. So I come home, I get in my car, I'm in my pink Cadillac. I'm driving through the neighborhood, looking around, and then I see it. There's a garage door open, you know, it's up, and there I see Poco laying on in somebody else's garage, just, you know, he's just happy laying. I thought, they are not your humans. I am your human. Do you not get this? And see, he didn't, because he's much like the animal, like the sheep. Okay. Because the sheep will do the same thing. And it's just who they are. Right. And Poco, I love that dog. And when I was around him, he loved me, but he would also love anybody around him. Well, the sheep will follow wherever they're led. And sometimes they end up in dangerous places because of that. And so shepherds often had to discipline lambs so they did not stray. In that picture that you just saw, the shepherd would use his rod and he would actually break the leg of the wandering lamb. Break their legs. So he'd break the leg, and then guess what? The lamb stayed on his shoulders. The lamb would become dependent upon the shepherd. He would start to trust the shepherd to get around for transportation, to eat. I mean, anything. He would have to trust the shepherd. And by the time his leg would heal, guess what? He learned to trust the shepherd. He learned not to stray. And so that's a great lesson in our own lives, you know, with trusting, of course, God, trusting Jesus, and trusting that you are in the right place at the right time, that God has planted you here. So for whoever that might be out there, and it may not be for anybody, but I'm not sure why it's on my heart, but I want to share that with you. Okay. So just know that. And if it's not for now, you put that in your pocket and you remember that the next time Mary Kay gets hard, because it will. There will be great times and there will be yucky times, but we're here for the entire journey, you guys. We're here. We're lifers in Mary Kay. Absolutely. So I'm going to, before we move on, I do want to tell you one more story, because it will kind of apply to what I'm going to share with you tonight. And this is my little airport story. Before Mary Kay, I had never been on an airplane, and I was I grew up very poor. And when I became a school teacher, it was in my hometown. And so I really didn't have a lot of time to, you know, go experience life. I'd get out of college and, you know, I'm a teacher just like that. And so I joined Mary Kay shortly after. And then I went to the Bahamas. Okay. And I started traveling some. So, you know, like I went to seminar. That my first flight was seminar ever in my lifetime. And then So I then on my honeymoon went to Cancun. I mean, nothing big. Like I'm a world traveler now, right? See, you too can do this. And then I remember I went to the Bahamas for the first time. Now I can't even tell you how many times I've been to the Bahamas. I can't even tell you. I've been there so many times. But since then, but that was my first time. And back then, back in the day, you could actually use your little birth certificate and your driver's license. Anybody remember that? Oh my goodness. So you could actually use that. And so I, was leaving the Bahamas. Now, this does not tan very well. So I had my little bit of color, which I don't often get. And, I had been to the Bahamas, and I don't think I was feeling like real prideful or anything, but, I was feeling like pretty good. I mean, I was just in that moment, like, this is fun. I like to travel. And I was dressed up all cute, something I kind of like to do. And I'm coming through the airport, and, when you go through customs and all that. And so when I get up there to the place where they inspect your passport, they let you through to go home. Well, I, still today, do any of you ever just get the feeling you're like, I hope they let me through. I hope they don't just stop you for some crazy reason of something that you did not even do, right? Have you ever thought about that, you guys, that could happen, crazy thoughts like that come to my mind when I'm out of the country, right? And because the last thing you would want to have happen is that you get stuck in another country or one of those back roads, right? So I'm coming through, and my heart's beating a little bit fast, and I'm thinking, okay, she's just going to, let me through. And I get there, and she looks at it. She looks at me. She takes my driver's license out, looks at it, makes sure the names matches, and she looks at me. And then she looks at me and she goes, "You don't have a passport?" I said, No, ma'am, I don't have you don't have a passport? Like, I'm not going to let you through here because you don't have a And I'm thinking, I know I read the instructions that said we could get in without a passport. I said, no, I don't have a passport. She goes, well, you can get in with this. But she looked at me, you guys, and she said, you're better than this. Wow. And what was she really saying to me? Was she saying, and I guess it really doesn't matter, because she could have said, I'm annoyed by you bringing your little birth certificate and your driver's license through here like you're all that in a bag of chips. Or she could have been thinking, I see you going places, and I'm speaking into your life, and I believe that you're going to need a passport. Or she could have been saying that, have more faith, believe that you're going somewhere. But you know what? No matter what she meant, here's what she did mean. I was better than that. And in so many areas of our life, we are better than that. Do you get it? What I mean? Okay, you're better than that. And so don't settle for anything. I came home, I got my passport, and I'm like, yep, I'm going places. And she's right. She's right. And so just because we can get by with something doesn't mean that's the way we should do it. A hot mess. No, absolutely not. Well, I'm going to share my screen and show you a few things, okay? I took a lot of my slides out, and a lot I'll just quickly go through. So bear with me as I share my screen here. And since I cannot see the screen, and the one on my phone is behind this, all I can see is what I can see. And so I believe you should be able to see it. And if not, Pam can text me or whatever, but I'm going to proceed on as if you can. But this is part of the goal setting workshop that I did with my national area. And of course, new year, new you, goal setting. And wow, thinking about 2020, and when we reflect of 2020, isn't it amazing when you think back? Like, can you remember what you were doing when you realized like the whole world was about to shut down, or the world that we knew, right, was about to shut down and everything was about to change? Well, every year I like to do something, and that is reflect. And I like to reflect after every big event to make sure that if there's anything I want to change, that I think about it now, because at the next event I might, forget about it by then. And I like to slow down and reflect. And at the beginning of every new year, I like to have time to reflect. Every week, I actually take time to sit down by myself and reflect. And John C. Meixsell teaches us about having a little thinking chair and all that. Quiet time is so important. It's sort of like you've got to slow down to speed up. That's what it makes me think of. You've got to slow down to speed up. Okay. So that means having some quiet time. I'm going to show you some of these books. I'm not promoting any specific book. I'm a book person. All right. And I know some of you are too. And most of you probably, oh yes. See, I can see now that the screen did come up. That's how much delayed it is on the Facebook. But anyway, with this book here, this is called the 15 Laws of Growth, 15 laws of the 15 invaluable laws of growth, and it's by John C. Meixsell. Now, what I like about John Maxwell's books is that they are great leadership training, and they have a little bit of a, well, he's a pastor, so they're also spiritually tied. Okay. And this here, I probably have read this book probably at least 8, 9, 10 or more, maybe 10 or 12 times, I would say. And I've taught many workshops on it. And so I just want to read this little part to you. It reads, schedule time to pause and reflect. If you don't, it will always get shuffled off of your to-do list. Ideally, you would spend a short time pausing to reflect at the end of every day, between 10 to 30 minutes, or significant time every week, or at least an hour or two, part of a day, several days a year, blah, blah, blah. And so, or half a day, once or twice a year. And he goes on to talk about, or once a year. So what I like to do is that between Christmas and New Year's is have time to actually pause and reflect. And if you haven't had time to do that, that's when we get our great ideas. That's when we actually learn from the things that have happened to us and how we responded to them. And just to reflect, my times of reflection typically are in the morning. I do like to reflect the day prior, but also at nighttime. I do some reflection at nighttime as well. I schedule time every week to reflect and to plan. And then, of course, sometimes I will schedule like mini retreats to get away and really get quiet and reflect. And for me, the way I fill my cup is getting alone and actually having quiet time and doing this. So it's really powerful for those of you that may have a similar personality. When you don't get your energy from other people, but we give energy to other people, you have to fill your cup somehow. And so, but even if that's not your personality, even if it's not, it's so important that you learn to slow down, reflect, because otherwise we'll keep doing the same thing to get the same results, and that's insanity, or we'll make the same mistakes over and over again. So I ask you this, who can you be? Well, this is called Finding Your Direction. It's by Bill Cantrell. And what I will tell you, I had a powerful moment with this book. And so the reason I want to share this book with you, it's right there in chapter 1, and it tells us about seeds. Seeds, like an acorn that can become a huge, beautiful tree. And what happens to that acorn? Well, sometimes it gets planted, becomes a beautiful tree. Sometimes the squirrel comes and takes it off, and it never has an opportunity to become a tree. Sometimes it gets stepped on and squashed and pushed into the ground. But now it's planted and it can become a tree. Well, I remember the day that I read that paragraph, and I was not in a good place, and I had prayed, and that paragraph just grabbed me, and I thought, okay, I have got to plant my acorn. I've got to, make a decision to be a tree. And that was right before I did Million the first time. And I kind of renamed myself. I was the all-out Donna Mikeson. Now, I'll explain that a little bit later, but I just wanted to give everything 100% And that was important to me. So let's look at the next slide. Tracking and measuring. And well, you know, you guys already know this. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. But listen to this by Mark Anderson. Tracking and measuring. Most employees want to grow. They do want to. They want to do better. They want to take pride in their work, but they need targets to shoot for. Unless they have clearly defined goals, the path of least resistance will almost always raise its ugly head. Wow. Peter Drucker. What we measure gets improved. Woo! Okay, we heard that already. I heard that as I came on tonight. You guys know that. What you measure gets improved. We know that. We know it. So that means that we have to measure. We have to have goals that are measurable. You guys have seen Zig Ziglar's Wheel of Life, and you've seen all different versions of this. This one's my favorite with the 7 on here. And I learned years ago, I was actually on my bed listening to a conference call with Bill Cantrell. And he said, take 7 note cards and write these on them. And then you focus, on the things that you want to change for the year. And I know you want to be careful not to get overwhelmed and do too much at one time. And I would always, pick the ones that I wanted to really make a huge impact in shifting. And then, but also a lot of these things, you can set goals for the year but select the things that you really want to tackle. Well, of course, tonight we're talking about tackling our career. We're talking about really making a shift in our career to get everything that our hearts desire this year. You've seen these tracking sheets. I'm not even going to spend time doing this. You guys don't need this. Pam has these. You have these. They're everywhere. But my point is track. None of these things that you have seen, okay, do you achieve without tracking unless you actually achieve them on accident. And if you achieve something on accident, you're not going to keep it. Okay. So even all this. Now, I want to tell you something about Pam and myself. We've done all these things. We've done the Queen's Chair, and so why do you think we probably did it? Because we knew that we wanted to give away a skill that we had. Now the B, then I love this, but back in our day, they didn't offer this, but we did it. Otherwise we couldn't have been $500,000, $1 million directors. I mean, it goes along with it, right? But so what we teach you, we're not asking you to do anything that we didn't do. And I'm going to be honest. I personally think Mary Kay is easier today than I've seen it in a very long time. That's my personal opinion. Okay. So none of this happens though without tracking it. Find your why, step into your passion, decide to be all in 2021 is the easiest path for winning. So now I'm talking about being an all out person, going and being all out and all that you do, giving it 100%, but being all in for what you're doing. They're very similar, but different. So this book here, and you've heard of this, this is so old. The little cover has, I don't know where it is. It's gone. It's forever gone long ago. But this is Success Principles by Jack Canfield. And I want to read part of Success Principle number 35. And some of you have heard this so much, but it's so good that we need to hear it again. So this means that with this success principle, and I'm going to read you the title. Okay. It's in the book. It's not my words, it's their words. 99% is a bitch. 100% is a breeze. Now, what do they mean by that? The no exception rule. Successful people adhere to the no exceptions rule when it comes to their daily disciplines. You have got to get disciplined with your daily disciplines. And we've got to stop letting ourselves off the hook so easily. Once you make a 100% commitment to something, there are no exceptions. It's a done deal. So let me give you an example. When you wake up on Saturday morning, and you look at your husband that you married and you said, I do, till death do us part. You don't go, well, he said he'd take out the trash last night. I'm not sure I want to be loyal. And you don't look at him and go, should I be loyal today? You see, because you made the decision up front. When you're on a diet and you make the decision before you go to the party and say, I know they're going to serve pizza, but I will not take a slice. They are going to serve pizza, but I will not take a slice. There is going to be cake. I will not eat any. You make your decision up front, and that helps keep us out of trouble. Okay, 99% is not good enough. So listen to this. This powerful 100% commitment also figures critically in other important areas. For instance, the workplace. Consider what a commitment to just 99.9% would mean in the following work situations. It would mean 1 hour of unsafe drinking water every month. You guys, that's 99.9% all in. An hour of unsafe drinking water. It would mean 2 unsafe landings at O'Hare International Airport each day. It would mean 16,000 lost pieces of mail per hour. It would mean 20,000 incorrectly filled drug prescriptions every year. It would also mean 500 incorrect surgical operations performed every week. It would also mean 50 unborn babies dropped at birth by doctors every day. It would mean 22,000 checks deducted from the wrong account every hour. And it would mean your heart failing to beat 32,000 times each year. That is 99.9% all in. You've got to be 100% all in, okay? And that makes life so much easier. Why do we struggle with being all in? Because, well, fear. You know, we want it, but we're afraid. And so there's this book. I don't have it with me here tonight. I believe it's on my shelf over there. But it's False Evidence Appearing Real, Fear. You guys know that. But there's a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And it's by Dr. Susan Jeffers. And years ago, I bought that book and I did the little timeline thing. I actually put it out on my wall, put little tacks in it. And it just has like the little timeline, had little dots. And every time I did something that I was really afraid of doing, I would move my little tack forward on it. And it has a little example of that in the book. And I just did and I thought I felt so empowered by doing that. You know, feel the fear and do it anyway. We don't wait until the fear goes away. Well, we also have this book by John Ortberg. And this is about the concept of walking on water. If you want to walk on water, you have to get out of the boat. We have to get out of our security. We have to be willing to have faith and believe and not be a person that is comfortable in the boat. And the book also refers to how we're so comfortable on our, what do they call it? The lazy boy, the chair, right? And so we have to get to a place that's not comfortable to achieve more in life. Now, what does all in look like? It's not a fence digger. It's not the dog who goes under the fence. Running to the next company that opens up when you have a hard day, week, month, or year. You guys, you're better than that. All right. So you know what the fence digger is. And you heard the shepherd, the story of the shepherd and the sheep. So you understand what that looks like. But we are that same, just like that same animal. Because when we are not grounded enough, then sometimes we can start digging because of fear. Things get hard, things get uncomfortable. We don't mean to do it. And the dog doesn't either. He just starts digging. Okay. I want you to be all in. Being all in helps you to live all out. And it takes the question out. You don't have to, when you take the questions out, life gets easy. Decide up front how you're going to respond to things. Decide up front, no matter how the situation gets. When you are a DIQ, you will not go belly up, and just like give up. And you will not say this statement. You will not say this statement. Well, if God wanted me to have it, he would have made it easier. Really? Would he? You must know something I don't. Or you will not say statements like, I'm just going to put Mary Kay on the back burner. Really? Was it ever on the front? So you don't say those things, you guys. You are all in 100%. When you're all in, you show unwavering support of your recruiter. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. She recruited you. Blessing enough. Okay. Support her. Your director. your national, the company, the products that you represent. Be bold. You are not a closet consultant. It's called chutzpah. That's pronounced chutzpah. Holy boldness. Okay. You're going to be really bold about where you're going, this opportunity, the product. You don't have a boss in Mary Kay, but you do have leaders. Respect your director and the leadership above you. Your NSD is like your grandmother, and your director is like excuse me, yeah, that's a typo. Your NSD is like your grandmother, and your director is like your mother. All right. So there are about 100 Bible verses you can look up at openbibleinfo.com. And it talks about, and this is all biblical, respecting those in leadership. People will follow and respect your loyalty. It doesn't mean you have to agree though. And let me tell you this, your job as a leader is to get along with difficult people. Your job as a leader is to get along with those difficult people because they will show up. There are some difficult people out there. There's only about 5 in the world. The problem is they move around a lot, so you're going to encounter them. Now, I want you to know that a confused mind does nothing, so never confuse your customers, your team, or your unit of your loyalty to this company and this product. All right? You're going to move up a whole lot faster if people can see a clear path and not question why you're not using Mary Kay products, or wonder why you're selling another product of some kind, or you've seen people that never saying anything long. It's really hard to chase 2 rabbits. Follow one course until successful focus. Just got to do it. I mean, that is the formula. People are like, what's the key to success? Focus. Yes. How do we keep the flame alive though? Because we're human, we go up, we go down. How do we keep the flame alive? Well, here's some ideas. There's a lot more. By pictures, post pictures. I don't mean post them necessarily on social media. I mean, post them so that you can see them every day. And of course, your goal poster. Now, goal has a deadline. Of course, your dream board, your vision board, your dream books and all that. You guys, I know you know the difference and all that. So that's not what I'm teaching here. But having that surrounding you will be like guardrails to keep that flame alive, and it will fan the flame to keep the light going, okay, to keep that spark ignited, right? And that the word this month is reignite. So if your flame has gone down, then it's time to reignite, of course. So having the goal poster, have you put your goal poster up? Visualize. Oh my goodness. So find that quiet place every morning. This is no lie. This is what I did. And I think this was a big part of why and how can be a bad word, but why and how I did million the year that I did million, and we were number 1 in our seminar. Every morning I sat in a specific chair. It was in my bedroom. And it was like one of those lounge chairs, Chase lounge chairs. And I would visualize and I would write. I would close my eyes and I would visualize being in the Queen's chair. I would journal. I would doodle. Now, I know you know what doodling is, but do you know how doodling can make a difference? So let's say that I really can't see you guys right now, but maybe you'll be able to see this. I'm going to doodle something right now. And I don't know if you can see it because the little, my phone is several minutes behind. But anyway, what I have drawn here, if you can't see it, is a crown. And that was what I doodled. And I was taught to do that. Like when you have a goal, you have this one doodle. Everybody doodles, and it's proven. People who doodle when you're on the phone, it doesn't mean you're not listening. Actually, it helps you to retain. So as you are doodling, doodle on purpose. Doodle on purpose. Find something that you will easily draw that reminds you of what's going to happen this year. Your goal, becoming a reality. Connect with positive people. You guys know that. Sit in your thinking chair and dream. Thinking chair, in case you don't know, is a chair you go to think in. And you can have one specific one, or you can have a couple, whatever. A lot of people have like a thinking chair in a specific area of their house. It's like your little sanctuary that's private. Visualize every day. That's so important. Visualize to the point where you can get really emotional about it. It can like really move you to tears. Listen to motivating music. Read motivating books. As of course you can tell, I'm a big reader. Leaders are readers. Not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. It's real important. And so I love that, and that's empowering to me. And if you're not like a big reader, then that's okay. That is okay. That is okay. But find a way to get that message into you so that you can grow yourself. You know, the only way that we grow is by the people we meet, the places we go, the life experiences we've had, and the books we've read. And we're not going a lot of places right now, so we best be reading a lot, right? Absolutely. Now, I do have a playlist on my phone too that I like to play that's uplifting for me. It's a specific playlist that I play for myself. Now, let's talk about supporting your goals, tracking sheets, like having a focus folder, really track, plan time daily for networking, getting new bookings and follow-up, planning that time. So I would actually, my key to success was spending 20 minutes a day on the phone booking. And so now, what would I do? I'm very much in the field, you guys. And so I will tell you, I probably outsold a lot of you for maybe not December, probably for November. And here's why. I started this party page for my unit, and guess who had to do the parties? Yeah. And so I did the one stream live where you can record the parties ahead of time. And over Pink Weekend, I probably was on there maybe 6 times during just that weekend. And I sold a ton of product. And so reconnecting with my customers. Now, as a national sales director, I'm going to be honest, one of the first things that can get not taken care of is your customers, because we spend so much time doing other things. And I'll be honest, bless their hearts, my customers. I'm grateful that they stay with me, because, you know, I'm doing things like I'm doing tonight, and you're only one person. And so I reconnected with some of them that had been my customers a long time, but maybe I hadn't had a conversation with them or had seen their face. And so they got on, and whew, you guys, great sales. And I'm like, wow. And it reignited me in sales, because I thought, well, this is so much fun. My husband has never been to the post office so much. It was crazy, all that was going in and out of our house. Now, so every day, though, I would plan times for booking. And so now that's changed a little bit, but it's still booking. It's still networking online, building your following on social media, networking with people, right? And then inviting them to your parties. And so that's still booking. And you can text, you can call, you can instant message, you know, private message or whatever. You guys know all this, but taking the time to do it, is that in your date book? Or is that something passive? You're just like, I'll get it done when? And so I would put time in my daily agenda every day, if I were you, to make sure that happened. Otherwise, you know what happens? Nothing. Connect with your director and your national sales director. That's so important. It's like taking the cord to a lamp and plugging it into the outlet. If it's not plugged in, there's no light, there's no energy. And so staying plugged in is so important. And you guys have a national. And you know what the number one complaint that Pam and I get? We get it from people who don't have a national. And they're just like, oh, I just wish I had a national. Really. And so every opportunity I get to tell people to be grateful for their national, I do it. And every opportunity other nationals get to tell my area, they tell my area, be grateful. You know, and I'm not saying that to say that you're not. I'm just saying that connect with her. She's here right now. Connect with her. Attend your weekly success meetings. And of course, most of those, a lot of them are virtual now. Attend them. Miss 1, you're sick. 2, you're dying. 3, you're dead. The words of Pat Fortenberry, my mentor. Affirmations. You guys know what they are. I'm not going to teach them. One thing you may not know, and you may, one neat thing I learned is this. You can take a piece of paper and or half a sheet or whatever, but you start your affirmation and you write it. And it's called a picture frame affirmation. This is from The Secrets of Super Selling. And I don't have that book to show you, but it's not in print anymore. Sometimes you can find them. And sometimes my affirmations would be so much that I had this little picture frame. Well, here's what the subconscious does. You're reading it. You have to turn the page to read it. So you get all into what you're reading, and it's really kind of neat. And then that's your picture frame, because you're creating the picture of who you are. And so writing your affirmations is really important. Hearing them, seeing them. I use the Think Up app, THINKUP, and a lot of you probably know that and use it. And I love to play it when I'm putting on my makeup or when I'm walking, and just listen. Affirmations, AFFORMATIONS. That's not a typo. Affirmations are a little bit different. You put the affirmation in a question form. And what I mean by that is, when you ask yourself a question, what does your subconscious want to do? It wants to answer it, right? Absolutely. It wants to answer the question. So it is so important, you guys, that you ask the right questions. What would it take for me to get into my red jacket by the end of the month? Now, try not to answer difficult questions like how. But what would it look like for me to get my Cadillac by June? What would that look like? And so you start asking yourself that same question. And that works really well many times, because sometimes we look at our affirmations and you don't believe them, right? And so by having affirmations, what it does, it answers the question. And what I do is I do them every time on purpose when I'm doing something specific, such as washing my hands. That's when I do my affirmations. I'll ask myself those questions, right? And you're washing your hands a lot now, so that would be great. You can do it every time you turn on a light switch or whatever. Your weekly plan sheet, 6 most important things list, weekly summary sheet, stay focused, stop scrolling, start living, create your own miracle morning, participate in company area and unit contests. That helps support the goals. You're always closer than you think. And here's Joel Osteen. And I love this book. It's your time. And I want you to know that it is your time in 2021. You make it your time. We're always, just arm's distance away from our greatest dreams or your worst nightmares. Your choice. Which way are you going to go? Against the Odds. I don't know if you've ever read this book. Powerful book. Reposition Yourself. Chapter 4. And I don't have time to really dwell on all this tonight. But if you are a person that you're like upset and angry because your life isn't fair, you're right. It's not fair, but it's life. And so that can be life. And we have to let that go. Now, Robert Schuller, this book here is, if it's going to be, it's up to me. It really teaches you that, if you're going to do something, stop waiting on other people to do it. And the introduction has several questions. One of them is, who are you running with? Think about it. What are your hopes and what are your hurts? And are you alive? Do you have dreams that are still unfulfilled? This is a great book, you guys, if you just need a little bit more inspiration. You see, we don't motivate other people. We create a motivating environment, and there's a lot that you can do daily to keep yourself motivated. Be strong. Crash this chatterbox. Some of you it would be a sad place to go inside our heads, right? And I have some friends, I'm like, oh, it must be so heavy to carry all that baggage and to listen to that every day. But really, we all, to a certain degree, do this. But stop that crazy chatter in your head. Stop listening to the doubtful chatter. Great book if that's you and you need a little help with that. See, some reads for the new year. And a lot of these are books that I've had a long time. John Bevere, Extraordinary. No, wrong one. Sorry, let me get this one here. Here we go. 2 books from John Bevere. But this one is Breaking Intimidation. And this is saying no, a lot of this without feeling guilty. Be secure being your own person and not feeling like you need the approval of others. And then this is another one by John Bevere, Extraordinary, The Life You're Meant to Live and to Become Extraordinary. So those are just some books that might help support your goals. If you have a goal to move up the career path, I'm going to tell you it does. I know I'm running a tad late. Do I have a good another 5 minutes, Pam? Hopefully I do. But anyway, if not, stop me. But if you have a goal to move up the career path, it is going to involve recruiting. Okay, do you get that? If it's your goal and it's anything besides selling, and you want to move up the career path, you have to recruit. Recruiting happens from the action of asking and interviewing. I want you to make a list, a chicken list of the people that you want to ask. You know, be ridiculously scared, feel the fear and do it anyway. Where can you find these people? In your parties, your Facebook groups, you know, Instagram, your profile cards. Hello. You can have parties right now. You must have parties right now. You can do this alone, or you can partner up with someone that is more comfortable in front of the camera than you are right now. And you don't just put her out there to do all your work. You learn from her. You must stop ignoring the truth. You must learn the virtual world to be successful in the virtual world. Got it? You can learn anything when you're teachable. Make your list and ask for interviews. Hold the interview or send a recording. Follow up. It's like shampoo, rinse, repeat. Just keep doing this. You know this. You know this. You know this. You just got to get passionate about it and make it happen. I do want you to write this down. Okay. You may want to screenshot this or take a picture of this, because in case you go, what did she mean? What? I want you to look at your Mary Kay career, and I want you just real quick, as I'm talking, think about what you would like to accomplish in 2021 if you knew you could not fail. You're going to list 3 to 5 things, but let's just do this for right now. When you do this alone by yourself during your quiet time, you can do both. But I want you to think of right now. Let's start here. By seminar 2021. So in 6 months, what would you like to accomplish if you knew you, and it has to be something realistic. You can't say, well, I'm going to be a national sales director, and you know what I mean? And that's kind of unrealistic if you haven't had your haven't finished your great start yet. Okay. You might want to make it a little bit because of the timeliness that it takes for the company to monitor you once you have an intent to be a national sales director. Okay. But by seminar 2021, write down just things that are on top of your head. And then here's what you do. So I'm just going to walk you through it. I'm just going to pretend that you said Cadillac. Okay. Now, if you are not a director and you said Cadillac, is that realistic? Is it? Well, if you have a realistic goal to go ahead and get into DIQ and become a director in 1 month and do some powerful things, it could be. Yes, it could be. But if you are planning to go into DIQ in April, it's not as realistic. So understand that. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you believe it will happen in this time frame? Not how much your husband believes, how much Pam believes, how much, anybody, but how much do you honestly believe it will happen during this time frame by June 30th? How much do you believe it on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Then ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you want this to happen? Can you cry about it? Can you tear up about it? Do you get passion? Would you get out there and lift the kettlebell like the old man I was telling you about, the elderly man? Could you do that? And he was very fragile. He looked very fragile. Would you be willing to do that? How bad do you want it to happen on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest? And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how willing are you to make this happen? To do the work, to inconvenience yourself. Now, let me tell you on this one, if your national has to call and drag you to register for things, you are not willing, my friend, because you will get over what's causing you to do that. I'm just saying, don't shoot me. I'm the messenger tonight. Okay. But your earth suit will do the right things when your heart says, okay, I submit. I'm 100% willing. I'm going to make this happen. But I'm not going to get on an airplane when things are back okay again. I don't fly. I'll do parties, but I don't drive more than 15 minutes from my house. How willing are you to make it happen? Okay, so you're going to add all 3 together. So your highest is 30 points. You're going to divide it by 3. Okay. So let's say you had a 10 on each, 10, 10, 10. Well, that gives you a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. But let's say Cadillac got a 10, but you had on their Circle of Excellence, 650,000. And that you got a 7. Well, here's what I want you to know. The highest score that you have will most likely happen because of your belief, your desire, and willingness to make it happen. This is the most realistic to happen right now. And that's what you go for. Mary Kay said you can have anything if you want it bad enough and you're willing to pay the price. The problem is people have these goals and they look at them but yet you don't believe them and you never even get near it because you're defeated before you ever start. And what if you found something? And I'm not saying baby steps. I'm saying steps. I'm saying do something. Get excited about your next, and make sure you're excited or you're going to go back 2 to 3 years. You're rewinding because you're not passionate enough to get the next thing done. And guess what? When you get this done, your belief grows and now you're passionate to get more done. There's a happy place of working where you have belief, passion, and you're willing to do the work. It does not have to be painful toil. I want you to enjoy the daily steps, enjoy the journey. We don't have to beat ourselves up and blame the world or other people for our lack of fulfillment. Fall in love with the daily actions of getting on the phone, texting, networking, all those things. And next time when you can do a booth again, around here, we're not doing many of those, but fall in love with the actions that you get to do that. Enjoy every day that you get to take those actions, put those on your goal posters and so that you can see that you're in love with that daily activity. Get out of your head. It's a dangerous place sometimes. Stay connected with your mentor or else it's a downward spiral sometimes and it's lonely and you put yourself there by disconnecting. Stay connected to family and friends that want to see you successful. Stay in the Word. Stay in the Word. If things don't line up with the Word, run. Perhaps you are out of line, perhaps you are out of line with His plan for you if they're not lining up. Or perhaps you're trying to do it on your own terms and not His. However, no one ever said this is easy. The world is not always easy. We know that. But don't just run and give up when things are not easy. Be okay with things not being 100% easy all the time. People want things to just be so easy. And it's not always that. I love it when things are easy too. And sometimes I've had those days where I go, can anything be easy today? That's a bad place. Don't say that. When people are like, oh, can anything get easy? You've all said something like that before, right? Forces come against us for reasons that we don't know and don't always understand. But there's a difference between painful toil versus your heart, painful toil in your heart versus a hard day's work. A hard day's work is just fine and dandy. You can do it. But we cause so much of our own pain because we want things on our own terms. We overanalyze things. We start the chatter in our head, and we have low self-esteem and low levels of belief. Simple tips to avoid stumbling blocks. We sometimes take things harder than make things harder than they have to be. So ask yourself, who am I listening to? Would I trade places with the person who just gave me advice? Does she have the fruit of what she is selling me? This is big. This is important. Telling you how to earn a Cadillac, but she doesn't have one? No. Telling you to be an NSD, but she's not one? Think about it. Why would you even read a book of somebody who wrote a book about how to get wealthy, but really the way they're getting wealthy is you buying their book so that they can get wealthy? This is a theory. People do it all the time. They tell you how to earn a trip. They haven't earned one. The world is full of people that want to give advice, and there are just as many foolish people that follow that advice, not even researching, not even going, was there a Cadillac in her driveway? And did she accidentally get that, or did she really know how to do it? Because sometimes people do actually accidentally get things, but they don't keep them. How many books have you read? Like I said, not realizing what the author really is telling you to acquire, yet telling you how to acquire, was actually from his own personal learning and experience, or is it just something he wants to make or she wants to make money off of? Ask yourself, is this person that I'm listening to have the morals, the character, the qualities that I really desire in my life? Ask yourself, am I teachable? Am I coachable? If you think you know it all, it's a dangerous place. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride before the fall. You guys know that. Or am I not teachable? Is it the other end because I don't even believe in myself? Perhaps you've given up and lost your belief. That's a dangerous place too. Or maybe you're not teachable and coachable because you need to find your why. And that gives you passion. It's your responsibility, my friend, to find that passion. And you can do it. So ask yourself, am I willing to be inconvenienced to achieve my goals? Am I willing to be all in? Am I willing to learn the skills necessary without complaining? Am I willing to practice these skills over and over again? Can't tell you how many times I stood in front of the mirror for my first skincare class. Am I willing to ask for bookings, to coach my appointments and to follow up? Can I return phone calls in a timely manner if I want other people to do the same? Who you are is who you are, and wherever you go, there you are. You guys, ladies, you're better than that. Prepare for greatness in 2021. Am I willing to boldly march into 2021 with my new passionate self? Well, I promise myself to not give in when things don't work the right way. Most people don't do anything long enough to see if it really works. They stop 3 feet from gold. Of course, that's another book. They never get the gold. Do you want your gold in 2021? Having a glass full, having a half full glass instead of half empty will make your path easier, right? Now listen to this. I'm going to close soon. You will attract greater things when you, my friend, are greater. When you accept the person that you must become will equal the accomplishment you desire to achieve. What type of person must you grow into this year in 2021 to be able to get what you achieve? When we fix this, everything else falls into place. Social media, only post positive things. Why? Because you sell Mary Kay. That's why. Don't complain, air dirty laundry, or post passive aggressive messages or memes. You guys, do you think people don't see that? You see people post things about people talking about, really? Be careful of posting your personal insecurities. People see it. They may pity you and comment, but let me tell you, my friend, they don't want to follow you and be on your team. Your vibration level goes down when you live in a defensive mode and you're paranoid that others don't like you. Stop advertising it. Look to have a high vibration level. This does not necessarily mean that you're bouncing off the walls. People get that confused all the time. A high vibration level, it's someone who attracts other people. Mary Kay Ash had a high vibration level. She spoke calm, softly. She looked at you in the eyes and she made you feel special. But when she needed to make her point, she'd point her little finger and she would make her point. She was bold, she was strong, and influenced a legacy that long follows her after her physical death. Be careful of who you hang around just because they need you. They need your friendship, your money, your motivation, because they don't have any of their own. But they are making you feel better because you're ahead of them. Shame on you. The problem is you can't grow like that. Iron sharpens iron. Find you some iron to hang out with. Love everybody unconditionally, but hang out with some iron. I'm telling you. I want you to have a really good talk with yourself. Get quiet and think about who you really want to be. Who do you want to become? What goal can you set in 2021 that will stretch you so that God can also use this to develop you into the person that you're supposed to be? You don't get stretched on the couch watching Netflix. You will not empower the world binge watching. Take your index cards, write your 7 areas on them, 1 on each card. Start by putting emphasis on your career and starting with a few of these with a plan to grow them all. Of course, maybe 3 in the beginning to emphasize, but having a plan for all, because like I said, who you are is who you are. And wherever you go, there you are. It will affect all areas of your life. Career, though. Well, let's focus on career. Find something that you're majorly passionate about. Pam, was this message for me? Okay. Hopefully it's not. So make sure my volume's on. So hopefully y'all heard all this. Find something you're passionate about and that you can believe will happen. Something high on that score, that sweet spot. Find that sweet spot, you guys, and you will reignite yourself. When I have gotten into the molly grubs, dumpy places in my career, I would find a new goal. And a lot of times it's got to be a goal that you've never reached before. And I remember I was rock bottom. I needed something new. And that's the year I decided I would do triple star. And it wasn't until March that I made that decision. There was no evidence I would do quarter sales sharing or a unit club that year. But that year, from getting in the valley and making a decision, finding something else to reach for, I had done sales, I'd done sharing, I'd done unit club, but I wanted to do all three. I wasn't on target for any of them at that time. I got passionate about it. It gave me a new vision, a new why. When you weenie out on the second day after setting a goal, remind yourself that you are better than that. Fall in love with the daily actions that supports your goal. This is so important. Add those pictures to your goal posters. Remind yourself every day of what activities have got to take place, different activities that will make you successful, and you'll fall in love with them. Give yourself grace when you mess up. Give others grace when they mess up too. Don't worry about being perfect, but do strive for excellence. Pray before making decisions. Be careful of listening to your flesh. Now, this is not from a book. This is my little quote. Your flesh tends to lie and get us in trouble. And I suppose that's why one day it's going to rot. Listen to your heart, your soul, your inner spirit. Find joy in everything you do. Increases your vibration level. Hang around people that hang around people that you that support your job and support you, and they don't condemn who you are as a person. Become a better version of you in 2021, and I know for sure that the best is yet to come. And I apologize for going a little bit over. But you guys, you have got to know that the best is yet to come for sure. Absolutely.
Yay! Loved it. This is something that you can do over and over. This is going to be a classic to keep. I was taking pictures with my phone because I couldn't write quick enough. And so just absolutely love that. You mentioned the 7 areas, but you didn't touch on them. Is that the wheel you showed earlier?
Yeah, I took a lot of that out because I figured they had it, and I didn't, you know what I mean? I knew we only had an hour.
Well, you'll have to train me on that because I don't know what that is.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
We have to have her back. Wouldn't y'all love to have her back? Okay. Well, iron sharpens iron. Donna, you are one of my iron partners. I just love you. We lift one another up. We support each other. That's what we do. Somebody commented earlier and they said, I just feel like I just can't get Mary Kay out of my mouth, kind of a thing when you're out there. I want you guys, I never will forget, National Sales Director Anne Robinette Emeriti, her theme and of everything was silver boxes. And there's a poem and it's a silver boxes. We get to give a gift. Notice what I said. We get to as National Sales Directors to do appointments. We get to be with you guys. We don't have to because we're in a position that we just get the Pink Escalade every 3 years or take $1,400 a month cash. We get to go on these trips because we're nationals. Those are given things. We get to have a family security plan, in place for us when we retire. So all of those things are we're here, but these are things that we get joy out of, that we love, that we just really thrive, I guess, for lack of a better word. But I want you to know that you give a gift. That's what you're doing. And when you're not sharing it, as it was said earlier, it's selfish for you to keep it inside, because the woman, Mary Kay Ash herself, asked us personally, her daughters, which is you, which is me, which is Donna, which is our national sales directors, to pay it forward. She said, when you come within 3 feet of somebody, offer them a complimentary facial. Now, you might only be 6, but you got a mask on, but many people do get out there. But there's all of this social media. Are you tired of being cooped up in your house? I'm looking for women to pamper. There are so many approaches that work for you. I want to congratulate our 2 perfect Rising Strong contest winners for this month so far is Nikki Kelly, Perfect 6, and Perfect 10 director Mary Beth Doolin. So I'm going to give you till tomorrow because of the holiday to get it in. It's normally due on the 1st, but make sure in the link that you got an email on Friday, everything's in there in that link, contest tracking sheets, everything in there. Okay. We are giving away $1,000. Most directors are collecting $10 per person. So far I have registered directors Jen Bessiger, Terry Simon, June, and Mary Beth and Leslie. That's all I have so far. So if you're not hearing your name, please make sure you take care of that. Hopefully I did not miss anyone. I've got some consultants in our units that have already paid, of course, for their portion, for their buy into it. I also want to say, don't be afraid to think big. Don't be afraid to think big. You have 361 days left in 2021. 2020 is a book. It's been bound. The pages were written in. You can't go back and erase them. You can't tear the pages out. It's bound. It's published. It's done. Now you have 361 days, counting today, to write in this year. Write with intention. That is my word for this year, is intention. I think it's such a powerful word, and it's a word that moves me. I want to really impress upon you to not miss the pre-sparkle with Stephanie Leonard. She's going to teach us how to pick it. We don't get to pick it. I don't even know all about it, but you're going to get to find out your power color. Is one of the things that we're going to learn. Donna probably knows all about it because Donna is one of my smartest friends that I know. Most of my friends say, you're the smartest person I know. Well, Donna is the smartest person that I know. Because she just continues to grow her mind and expand, as we all do, but she does it better than most people do. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be exciting. And I just, you have a reason to ask, as Donna was sharing, make it a part of your plan of what you see in your vision. So turn the pages. Be willing to bring others with you. That's what it is all about, being a red, being a senior red, being a super bad red with having, reds of reds of reds. That's with 3 reds. So Donna, I thank you. I thank you. You took time away from your family and from your own national area. I thank you, my Miss Go Give. I appreciate you so much. And I love you. And I love all of you. Make January the best month ever. Do the steps really fast. The steps. Where did I put it here? Oh, I wrote it over here, I think. Wait a minute. Sorry, guys. Those, I guess I put it in my notes here. I love what Donna said. Set the stage. What is your word? Work your plan sheet, your 6 most important things, and working that bubble sheet. Connecting with positive people, she said, and also setting the music, the affirmations. You guys, we've been talking about, if you're brand new, this is new to you, I get it. But at the same time, you got this. You got everything you need to know. Get your head and your heart in alignment, and the sky's the limit. It's going to be your best year yet. Love you so much, everyone. Thank you, my friend Donna. Good night, everybody. Have a great night, and we will see you at Pre-Sparkle, and I'll see Pink Connection tomorrow night. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.